All right, people, welcome to the Mindful Reaction series where I react to my older, more evil Luciferian videos, and I give my take based on how my perspective has changed. So we're gonna be reacting one of my older videos. It's called Seven Signs You're Chasing Him Unconsciously and How to Turn the Tables on Him. I haven't watched this video in a long time, so I'm gonna see what I said and whether or not I agree with myself. And I gotta say this. I'm actually not going to be doing as many of the normal videos within the next few days because I'm recording my course, not emotional mastery, the feminine woman. I already made the content. I already, in terms of like the research, it took me like around 7 months, no, 8 months, no, 9 months worth of research, like a baby. There you go, right? So I should be recording it. I should be putting the pre-sale option by tomorrow so that you guys can get it at a discount, and it should be out by the end of this month. Okay, I'm really excited about this, people, because it's not a dating course. It's more about the feminine woman, how to become a woman that projects femininity while projecting hints of masculinity, right? So I'll talk about how to behave at work, how to use your masculine energy at work, because the truth is masculine energy thrives at work, but also how to use your feminine charm, how to think like a man in a way that will complement your femininity. I'm gonna go very in depth in a lot of topics, and hopefully you guys enjoy it because I've been doing a lot of work for it. So I believe that it's up to the standards. I had it ready a few months ago, but I wasn't happy about it. So I even canceled a seminar. I think you guys know about that. I canceled a seminar because I just didn't have the material ready. But now I do, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So let's see what I have to say in this video, and yeah, and by tomorrow, like I said, just click on the description down below. I'll give you guys a link, and you guys can pre-order it.
Like a boss.
All right, guys. I don't give a fuck how much you try to convince yourself.
Okay, all right. This dude comes out swinging.
If you see these signs, you're chasing a guy. All right. You could say to yourself that like, oh, I'm just bored, or oh, it's just. I don't give a fuck, man. If you're doing any of these things, you're chasing, and you gotta stop as soon as possible.
And don't tell people you watch my channel.
All right. So if you're doing any of these things, you're chasing, and you gotta stop as soon as possible.
That sounds so mad. It's like I'm giving orders.
All right. So, by the way, people, I have a seminar in Mexico.
Shut up, Alexis.
You are afraid to show negative.
What was that seminar about?
You sign up. Is having a seminar in Mexico in 2 days in Mexico City. All right. So God, whenever you're afraid to offend somebody, it means you see them as how God. Up is free if you're in Mexico. All right. So the first sign is that you are afraid to offend the guy. Whenever you're afraid to offend somebody, it means you see them as higher value. It's simple as that. Unless it's a kid, right? You don't want to offend the kid, and who cares, right? But
all right, but be nice to the kids. But I totally agree. And also, this could also be that you are a people pleaser, but also that people please the same shit, right? So I kind of understand that.
The point is that whenever you are afraid to show negative emotions, it just means that you are in a position of weakness. Think about it in anything in life. The person who's more willing to show negative emotion is the person who's more willing to walk away.
It's almost like with the media, right? The people who you cannot talk bad about are the people in power, right? The people who you cannot offend are the people in power. The people who say what's offensive are the people in power, which is kind of beautiful because you being offended and acting like the victim gives you power. But that is very true because humans naturally don't want to offend. Humans naturally want to look like a good person on the outside. So you take advantage of that virtue signaling quality of humans and you just play the victim. And what they do then, because you virtue signal, you create an aura of public power because now you want to make sure to protect them. Right? So without you knowing it, you're gaining power through victimhood. So that's why victims nowadays are so prevalent because that's a way of getting power. That could turn really political, to be honest with you, but yeah.
So whenever he does something wrong and you don't call him out, that just means you're afraid to offend him. That just means you're the one that's chasing. You're in a position of weakness. Fuck that shit, man. If you're in that position, offend them. I don't give a fuck. Just think, if you're afraid to offend them, just think back in the people in your life who you offended and they still came back. And if they don't come back, that means you're with someone who does not love you.
And the truth is, the truth hurts. The truth offends sometimes. This is not manipulation. What I'm trying to tell you is tell the truth. Sometimes you don't want to talk to them. Sometimes you don't want them to come over. Me, I have that habit of sometimes having a hard time saying no to people. Even when I don't want to hang out with you, I may say yes simply because, I kind of don't, I like you enough, but also I don't want to hurt your feelings, right? And I have that habit, and my partners even tell me that I do that a lot. And then that's because I have that quality in me. It for me, it doesn't go too far, like I don't take it that far where I sort of compromise my values, but I do it for little things.
All right. The second one is you have anxiety when it comes to texting. You don't know when he's going to respond back, right? You don't know when he's going to text you. None of that stuff. Right? So if you're afraid of if you're anxious thinking when he's going to text you, and you're always calculating how to text him, you're asking your friends, how should I say, bro, you're chasing, girl.
Yeah, that's why when people tell me, what should I say? What's the right text you say? I'm like, girl, take a nap, okay? Take a nap and wake up. You're anxious. You need to relax. What that's telling me is that you're overthinking things. You're being a Terminator. Stop being so calculative. When you are confident about the person liking you back, you don't act this way. You act with less thinking, less calculation. And that lack of calculation looks more fluid, looks normal, but also it puts you at more risk of being rejected, I suppose. But at the same time, it exposes the right people for you, because if it doesn't like you when you're being yourself, right? You don't have to do this in the beginning, but after 1 month or two, you could start letting go and being your needy self. And if he doesn't like it, then it just means that he doesn't like you as a person, because somebody who likes you would just see that as a quote unquote flaw that they'll deal with. You know what I'm saying?
You're chasing. What you got to do is be a minimalist. Do less than necessary, all right? The next one is you can't focus on your day, right? Especially on the day of the date, right? So when you're chasing a guy on the day of the date, your day is going to be fucked. You're not going to have your normal routines, or you're not going to focus as well. That's all. Look at that. Right?
Focus.
That's all an unconscious sign that you are the one that's chasing. And if that's the case, then you just have to pull away from people.
And the reason you do that is because you don't know whether or not they're going to accept. When you don't know whether or not they're actually going to follow through, that doubt is the whisper of your unconscious telling you something. And it's telling you they may not go. But your conscious mind saying, I hope they go. And so that conflict creates that anxiety, which means that they're signaling to you somehow that they don't like you that much, and you're kind of detecting it unconsciously.
I know I always say that, but for some reason people don't do that. So I know I always say that, but for some reason some of you guys are just hard-headed. So I gotta just drum it through your hard-headed head that when you're feeling
this dude was a little vicious motherfucker, man. Like, just a hard lover, man. Like, there is no easy love in this channel, in this era. This was just tough love as it gets, like a goddamn general, like a sergeant.
anxiety about something, that just means you're waiting. You gotta drop all of those expectations. But I'll be honest with you, it's easy.
Look, I won't be surprised if he says drop, if he tells us to drop and do 20 or something like that, because, yeah.
It's said and done. So I understand. The next one is following up on their main. You gotta drop all of those expectations. But I'll be honest with you, it's easier said than done. So I understand.
All right, some compassion.
The next one
some
is
compassion.
Following up on their maybes. When a guy says maybe, when a guy says I'll let you know, even on the day of the date, the fact that you're the one that's confirming the day or we're still going out is a sign that you are the one that's chasing, right? So, again, if you're the one that's chasing, I mean, when you're in a state of chasing, you're gonna feel disappointment. No matter what happens, you're gonna feel those falls. You're gonna feel that pain, right? Again, people, I'm saying this, and I know it's easier said than done. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not trying to say do it. I know it's easier said than done. But if you see this, at least you have the conscious awareness now that you didn't have before. The next one is you are afraid that he's gonna flake, right? And that is very similar to like what I said earlier, is that maybe he flaked on you before. Maybe you've been flaked on before, right? But the fact that you
Yeah, not having trust whether or not this person is going to follow through is not a good foundation for any relationship. You know, that could be your sign. If you don't trust this person's consistency, then that's a sign that you should lower expectations.
afraid if the person's gonna flake, just tells me you're not focusing on your life. It just tells me that you've been scarred. It just tells me that you're taking things too seriously. Again, it's normal because it happens to me too. Sometimes it happens to me, so it's a normal thing. But it's important to be aware of that phenomenon, right? Don't fool yourself, right? That just means that you're putting too much stock on this. You gotta surrender. You watch my videos, there's a certain effort that you're gonna put into it, and there's a predetermined result that you're gonna get from your effort. Surrender to that. Like me, there's a certain amount of women that I could get without no effort, right? And then there's a certain amount of women that I could get with effort. The effort part isn't, when you put effort, the amount isn't that much. It is not worth the stress. You see what I'm saying? So
The lemon is not worth the squeeze, pretty much.
surrender to it. Ensure to never make the mistakes of over pursuing. And just surrender to the fact that someone will come and you're not going to fuck it up. Surrender to that. Before you would have fucked it up, but now you're not going to fuck it up, and just surrender to that aspect so that you don't take everything seriously. You know? The next one is when he friend zones you. Girl, if he friend zones you, shit.
And friend zone can also mean sex, but friends with benefits. Not just like, because a woman's friend zone is friends with benefits. A man's friend zone is pretty much the fucking Sahara Desert of poom poom, like just nothing, right? But for a guy, friend zone is getting, the poom poom without the commitment. And the only reason why a guy would do that is because they just don't like you that much. It's just that simple. They don't like you that much. Enough, but not enough for a relationship. And then there's levels to it. They may like you enough for a relationship, but they might not like you enough for marriage. Or they may not like you enough to have kids with you, right? There are levels. And depending on what you want, each level could be equally satisfactory. It just depends what you want,
The next one, when you're in a conversation with the guy and he breaks, and you consistently breaking the silence, you feel like you have the burden of the conversation. Now, ladies, that means you're chasing. Whenever there's a silence, you talk just to keep the conversation interesting. That to me is a sign that you're chasing that dick, right? And I'm telling you, when a guy senses you're chasing him, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it turns him off. It's unfortunate. It's just human nature. It's like you're having a kid and you give everything to that kid, right? And you're submissive to your kid. That kid's gonna take advantage of you, but that kid is gonna is deep down, that kid wants to respect you. But the fact that you act like a friend, he does not have that level of respect, and as a result, he doesn't have the support of a mother in his life. The same thing with a guy. Whenever you're so easy to him, whenever you're so compliant, sure, he finds you interested, but he's not gonna value you. We all want things of value. We all want things when we have things that doesn't have that much value, we don't pay much attention to it. So when you do this, you're lowering your value. And it's not that you are bad as a person, but it's just that the illusion. It's all an illusion. You're fucking up your own illusion. The world that we live in is a world of appearance. It is what it is. Resent it if you like, but if you resent it, you're gonna go against human nature and feel constant frustration. Better to understand this and play with the grooves. Don't resist it, people. All right, people. This is Alex from Mindful Attraction.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, everyone in life will always have at least one person who genuinely likes them. And as long as you don't fuck it up, you win. And that means as long as you don't cheat, as long as you don't deceive them, lose their trust, as long as you don't over pursue, right? As long as you don't lie to them, as long as you don't abuse them, as long as you learn to control your emotions and find happiness from yourself, if the person doesn't like that, then it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means they don't like you that much, and you gotta change your expectations or move on, right? But if you do this properly and you find someone that likes you, it's gonna feel like magic, because it's gonna feel like it's gonna feel effortless, and that's the feeling you want to go for, effortless, right? If you feel like you're putting effort, then that means you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just do less, and you'll notice that if it's meant to be, which is if he likes you as much as you like him, then things will happen naturally. A farmer doesn't force the plants to grow. He just makes sure he plants them properly in the right soil, under the right conditions, and Mother Nature will do its work, right? So you just do the right thing, right action. Make sure you don't make mistakes, which usually comes through overthinking and not controlling your emotions. And you'll notice that even when things don't go your way, you're gonna have an easier time transitioning, which will allow you to not add on baggage of bitterness and frustrations and projections about men that are off kilter to reality, right? Because of your own traumas. You don't create those projections which get in the way between you and the relationship with a guy. You'll be able to read people better. You'll be able to have a better relationship, and things will just go easier. It's just that simple, people. All right. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the first time I'm ever going to offer this. All right. And it's a bundle. Look at my doggy right here. And it's a bundle deal to purchase all of my courses while being able to have a talk with me. So the way that this works is that you guys can purchase a psychological game of attraction, natural chemistry, and nice girl, while being able to purchase a 15-minute call with me. So naturally, a 15-minute call is $99 for the meantime, people, until I start classes again, which will go out when I start classes. But now you'll be able to do that at 50% off, all while being able to purchase my first 3 courses that I ever created. These courses are pretty much everything you need in terms of your dating life. So it's all, you get everything at $249. Now the way that this works is that the reason why I created this is because usually the best results come from people talking to me on the phone and then watching my courses. Now I always tell people, purchase my courses first, right? But some people have individual situations that they need guidance in. So this is the opportunity to be able to get all 3 things while being able to talk to me. Okay, so click on the description down below, purchase it while it's limited before I start classes again, and I'll see you guys inside.